What did your mom do that became the stuff of legend? My mom was a high school principal for 23 years in a small town where everyone knew everyone. She was the kind of administrator who memorized every student's name before they even started freshman year. She'd show up to every game, concert, and school event, even when she wasn't required to be there. Students knew her door was always open, and parents respected her because she was firm but fair. One winter, our town was devastated by a massive ice storm that knocked out power for days. The high school was designated as the emergency shelter since it had backup generators, but there was a problem. The superintendent, a man who'd only been in town for 6 months, refused to open the school because he was worried about liability issues and potential damage to school property. He told the emergency management team they needed to find another solution, even though temperatures were dropping below freezing and hundreds of families had no heat. My mom found out about this decision at 11 at night when the mayor called her in desperation. Without hesitation, she grabbed her keys, called every member of her administrative team, and told them to meet her at the school. By midnight, she had overridden the superintendent's decision and personally opened the building. She called in favors from the cafeteria staff who showed up to cook, teachers who brought extra blankets and supplies from their homes, and even the school nurse who set up a medical station for elderly residents who needed care. By morning, over 300 people were safely sheltered in the gym, cafeteria, and classrooms. When the superintendent finally showed up around 10 the next morning, he was furious. He cornered my mom in the hallway outside her office where everyone could hear. He was shouting about chain of command and threatened to fire her on the spot for insubordination. Mom just looked at him calmly and said, "Fire me tomorrow if you want. Today, I'm making sure no one in my community freezes to death." The superintendent stormed out, but word of the confrontation spread through the shelter like wildfire. By afternoon, school board members were showing up with supplies and volunteering. 3 days later, when power was finally restored, the superintendent tried to make good on his threat. He called an emergency board meeting to have my mom terminated. What he didn't expect was that over 400 community members would pack the meeting room. One by one, parents, students, teachers, and even the mayor stood up to defend her. The school board voted unanimously to keep my mom and place the superintendent on administrative leave instead. He resigned 2 weeks later. A quiet legacy blossomed in our town as each resident, reflecting on that icy night, recalled the bravery and compassion displayed by a steadfast leader. Her determination turned a crisis into a celebration of community, where every heart remembered that moment of unity, gratitude, and hope that forever changed us all. Unity endures, igniting boundless hope. For years after that, whenever a crisis hit our town, people would say, "Call Principal Jackson, she'll know what to do." When she finally retired, the town renamed the high school auditorium after her. But the real legacy was how she taught an entire generation that rules matter, but people matter more. Even now, 15 years later, former students still mention the ice storm when they talk about my mom. They remember how she chose to do the right thing when it would have been easier to follow orders. That's the kind of courage that becomes legendary in a small town, the willingness to risk everything to take care of your community when they need you most.